They say the Great Pyramid was built by slaves with copper tools. 2.3 million stones, some weighing over 80 tons. Perfectly aligned to true north. Constructed with precision we can barely replicate today. All without the wheel. This isn't history. It's heresy. But what if I told you there's a hidden code? Mathematics more advanced than anything the ancient world was supposed to know. And clues buried in plain sight that point to a truth too dangerous for textbooks? This is the real story behind the pyramids. And you've never heard it like this before. Let's start with the stones. Over 2 million of them make up the Great Pyramid. Each stone? Between 2.5 to 15 tons. Some internal granite blocks, top 70 tons. Now imagine stacking those with laser-like precision, so tight, you can't fit a razor blade between them. Egyptologists say it was done with chisels and manpower. Copper tools. And ropes. But here's the problem. Granite, like that used inside the king's chamber, has a Mohs hardness of 6 to 7. Copper? That's a soft 3. It's like trying to carve steel with a spoon. And those blocks were transported over 500 miles. Through desert, rivers, and chaos. With no wheels. No pulleys. No math. Here's where it gets weird. The Great Pyramid is aligned to true north within 3/60th of a degree. Modern compasses can't even guarantee that kind of accuracy. Each of the 4 sides is almost perfectly equal, just a few inches off over 755 feet. Or should I say 8 sides. Each side has a subtle concave built to the center. These are only visible at dawn and dusk on the spring and autumn equinoxes. This feat alone would make the construction 100 times more sophisticated. The base? Leveled to within less than an inch. The entire structure is square to 0.05%. Some engineers today say we'd struggle to recreate this with cranes and AI. So how did they do it? And why, with such impossible precision? Let's talk math. The Great Pyramid encodes the number pi. Its height to base ratio equals 2 pi. But pi wasn't discovered for thousands of years. At least, that's what the books say. Even crazier? The pyramid's dimensions correlate with the Earth's dimensions. Multiply the height of the pyramid by 43,200. You get the polar radius of the Earth. Measure its perimeter, and you get the Earth's equator, again, scaled by 43,200. So either the Egyptians had satellites, or they knew the planet better than we do. How could all this be a coincidence? There is a theory that suggests a truth mainstream archaeology avoids. That this wasn't just a tomb. It was a remnant of a forgotten history. Found and copied, but never replicated. It was a monument that survived floods, cataclysms, and time itself. Built not by Egyptians as we know them, but by a forgotten civilization. One with lost knowledge. Possibly a global culture that predated even the Sumerians. In South America, we see similar megalithic structures. In China, even underwater off the coast of Japan, there are megalithic structures we cannot explain, found in every part of the world. Different locations. Same tech. Same angles. Same impossible perfection. Now, look to the stars. The Giza pyramids match the layout of Orion's Belt. Not roughly, exactly. Ancient Egyptian texts connect the god Osiris to Orion. And the shafts inside the Great Pyramid? They point directly to Orion and Sirius. Not now, but in 10,500 BC. That's not a coincidence. That's intent. So, who had this astronomical knowledge over 12,000 years ago? Not just of stars, but of precession? Of Earth's wobble over millennia? We're talking about math that wasn't discovered until Copernicus. If this was a monument built to survive time, what was it trying to say? Were the builders trying to warn us about a cycle, a catastrophe, a reset, showing us how to protect ourselves? Many ancient myths, from the Mayans to the Hopi, speak of recurring ages, of floods and fire, of civilizations rising and falling. The pyramid might be a time capsule, a cosmic message. Look to the stars. The answers are there. The official story says slaves dragged stones in the desert. But the evidence says otherwise. Precision, mathematics, celestial alignment, a scale beyond logic. Someone built the Great Pyramid. But it wasn't the civilization we think. It was someone smarter, older, and forgotten.